I want to finish with a thought about Israel. What would it take for Israel to appease the left? What would it take for Israel to persuade the left, look, we're not as bad as you think. Please tolerate us. Please let us be. For the left to tolerate Israel, one thing should happen. Israel to become more equal with the Palestinians, more equal with the Arabs. There are two ways to make Israel more equal with the Arabs. One way is for the Arabs to become more well-off. One way is for Arabs to get on board the ideas of freedom, the ideas of capitalism, the ideas that made Israel the stronger part. Of course, the left would never accept that. But also, there's another way Israel could become more equal with the Arabs. And that would be Israel amputating itself. So here's an example of what the left would consider a fair solution to the conflict. Let's see the first and balanced and compromise solution. So we've heard it many times, the left saying the Israelis should stop the blockade of Gaza. Again, Gaza is this piece of land, and because it's controlled by Hamas, it's under blockade. So let's leave Gaza, have free trade. Obviously, the only party with which they're interested in having free trade would be Iran. Let's also leave the militias in Gaza be able to roam around Israel. After all, the blockade of Gaza is inhuman. What about here, the Golan Heights, right? The Golan Heights are occupied by Israelis. And I told you they're of huge importance because it's the higher ground, and now that Israel occupies it, Syria cannot easily attack. Let's also return the Golan Heights to Syria, because that would be fair, right? So this would mean that here in the Golan Heights, you would have tanks by Assad, you could have Russian army, maybe some Wagner mercenaries, because I know that these are the people who play ball in Syria. And what about the West Bank? Isn't it unfair to have an Israeli occupation there? So let's return the West Bank to the Palestinians, and let's also have free elections in the West Bank. Who would win this election? Hamas. So here, you would have a Hamas state with full sovereignty, which means it could invite revolutionary guards to do their practice shooting some miles away from Tel Aviv. It could also invite Russian artillery. I mean, it would be a free country, whatever. They can do whatever they want. This is what the left would consider a fair compromise. This is what the left is asking Israel to do. In other words, the only way for Israel to appease the left would be for Israel to commit suicide. Thank you.